Greetings and welcome, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, to episode 353 of the Words About Games podcast, the weekly gaming podcast for Words About Games. I'm your host, Amy K. Alexander, joined this week by the dancing superstar himself, Mr. Daphne.
Doodly-doo. It's Friday. You know what that means. It's another fucking long weekend again, Amy. Everyone's getting the Monday off. It's like Monday off for everyone. Mondays for you, and for you, and for you. Yeah. But how are you? I hope you are well.
Yeah, not bad. In recovering, right? In recovery.
You're still in recovery mode.
I'm recovering, yeah. That's what happens when you fucking blah.
You don't lift with your back instead of your knees.
Yeah. I'm gonna lift my back from now on. Well, that'll solve all my problems.
Exactly. Hasn't put me down yet.
You don't want it to.
That's why I don't lift anything, you motherfuckers.
Oh, look at me. I'm really having a job. I just sit around all day playing video games. Ooh. Sorry, I went there.
Facts.
You'd be proud of me, though. You'd be proud of me for the past week.
I'm always proud of you.
I was out on Twitter doing my thing, my usual thing, and I was throwing hands because they try to do the whole, well, actually, I think you'll find that QA is aren't game developers. And I was like, right. Let's fucking go, bitches. It's fun. It's just Twitter.
Twitter's been Twitter. Twitter's been Twitter, as always.
We've literally got a Twitter being Twitter news story. Fanboys being fanboys. I
haven't looked at that yet, but I kind of, just from the title itself, was just like, yeah, okay, I guess this is something about Twitter.
I sent you the screenshot of, no, I didn't. I put it in the thing.
That one.
Yeah, and I was like, I lost my temper.
I lost my temper, really?
I lost my temper. I did. I lost my temper.
Even if it's good, they're still just going to make it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah. Oh, isn't that good? Whoa! We'll get into that. How are you? How's your week been? I was going to say since the last time I saw you, but I saw you last night. So
I know. We normally have a week off from each other.
We've seen each other twice since last podcast. I'm surprised we haven't killed each other. Well, we kind of did.
I was going to say we kind of did because we played Among Us, which I won't lie. That hide and seek mode is pretty badass. It was really fun, especially the music and everything. It was like that's awesome.
I didn't love it, but everybody else was having such a good time that I just had a really good time. Even though I was like, I didn't really like it, but I liked being around you as well. You were all laughing and shouting and stabbing and.
Of course,
I was trying to figure out how to use. I was trying to figure out how to use the flashlight and kill at the same time because the button seemed not. It was a whole thing.
Yeah. It was a bit of a whole thing. There's no doubt about with the mechanics of it. I think they need to go back to the drawing board a little bit with this. I'm just going to say this.
I had fun with my friends, so
and that's what all that matters.
I got really annoyed because obviously I was late, but like 50 minutes, 50 minutes, and I fucking went. I didn't go ape shit with the takeaway I ordered food from. That was an hour late.
You just kicked the shit out of
But
him.
I was just like, listen, man, I'm supposed to be somewhere right fucking now. Where's my food? That's 5 minutes away. You said that last time.
Fucking 20 minutes ago.
Oh man, I never ate so fast in my life. I think that was why I was so like mellow.
Yeah,
because I was like, oh man,
so stomach wasn't used to that fast food. The food has never hit my belly so fast before.
That wasn't fast food. That was fast food.
that was using bulk food.
That was
not even fast. Chewing. You were just
too fast, too food. Yes,
food. Yeah. Yep. It works. Don't know how, but it works. It exactly works. Facts. Nailed it. No, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. Look forward to like planning out the next one in June. But yeah,
just remember to make it like towards the end of June.
oh yeah, I'm going to yeah, because I know like our plans and everything like that. So yeah, definitely. Because one of us would have, if we did it then, one of us would have to be on a controller or Switch or something. You were like, fuck that.
As funny as it would be to do that in the same room with you. I mean, if the trajectory of E3's holds, I'll be pretty tired by Saturday night.
True, yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
We've got plans. We've got walking to do. We've got places to go. The whole shebang.
I said this the last time we were talking about where you lived, and I was coming down and stuff. And I'm coming down and stuff. Like, there's a fucking national park not that far from where you live, and like if we go out and walk out there, that would be cool. I like parks.
Mm-hmm. So do I. I'm getting used to them now since I've started walking a lot more. So
yeah, so we should do that. But also, there's all the live streams. So many live streams.
So many.
You're never prepared for them, and then you start doing them, and it's just like, oh no.
And Spider-Verse 2's out. My God.
And we'll do that as well.
We'll go and see that. I'll see it for a second time.
Not even gonna wait. Not even gonna wait until we can go and see it together. Wow! What the disrespect! I just feeling coming radiating.
See it with one of my best friends, or see it with my love of my life partner.
Both. Why not both?
Why not both?
We're both gonna be there.
Right, are you coming down on the 2nd of June then?
No.
No, you know I'm not moody.
Don't ask questions. You know the answers to.
That's true. Like, don't ask stupid questions, Moody. You know the answer to.
You know how I feel. You know how I feel and respond to stupid questions.
Yeah, give evil glares and just attack people on Twitter.
I don't attack people.
I got angry, Moody.
I don't attack people on Twitter. That was, and that wasn't anger. It was just sarcasm. It just happened to be angry sarcasm.
The thing is, when I saw it, I literally went, I can literally imagine how you were. Just seeing it and just go like, what? Yeah.
Dramatic recreation time.
All right, clicking everybody part accept you back because that one obviously it won't click for you right now, and then you just.
Well, I'm going to show you screenshot.
Fucking facts after facts after facts after facts. Where were you then, boy?
Nobody gets to be this willfully stupid that gets away with it.
It was this moment he realized he fucked up and pissed Amy off.
Almost pissed me off. No one.
How are you? I don't think I've asked you that yet.
Just doing my thing. This is 4 weeks and 2 days, more or less, at home. Feeling fine.
Sounds like paradise to me.
No, it's good. It's good.
It's a sarcastic feeling fine part.
I went out for a walk today. It was good.
Oh, that's good.
I was walking through a field sending a voice message to Joe. Because there's like 2 football fields and I was just walking down the middle of them. It was weird. I don't know why it was weird. It just felt weird walking down this like field through some trees. And but no, I don't know what the fuck have I been doing for the last week? I know for the last few days I've been like making stuff, but like before that, like I don't know, like I played a bit of Zelda. I got into watching Polygon's board game playlist where they just play board games. I've just been watching a few of those. It's always fun watching other people play board games. Like fun board games,
Just think when you're down, we'll be playing that board game.
I mean, do you want me to bring some? I've got loads of cool games. I'm bringing.
You can if you want.
I'll bring some.
Depends how heavy you want to bring your suitcase down for.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. They're not that heavy. I'd bring Star Trek Scenic, but I'm banned from playing Star Trek Scenic. No one wants to play with me.
Star Trek what?
Scenic, the movie trivia game where you get the DVD and stuff. I've got Star Trek version, and I've only ever played it twice. I played it once with my parents, and I played it once with, I think it was just Keith and Russ. And like, I'm too much of a Star Trek nerd.
Bring it down. I don't mind. I'd love to see someone's passion and knowledge.
So it was like, oh, Amy knows like ridiculously obscure facts about Star Trek.
Yeah.
And then I completely obliterated them in the game, and now no one wants to play it with me anymore.
Fuck them, Amy. You bring it down. We'll hang out. You, me, and the missus. Star Trek. And now we're watching Picard season 3 on my brand new TV, OLED 4K TV. So, like, why the hell not?
Cool. It's an old one. I think it only goes up to Enterprise. I don't even know if it's got Enterprise in it. I think it does, but.
No way. A lot of people forget about Enterprise.
That's right. That's my weakest.
Except Jessie Gender, because she fucking loves that show.
That's my weakest. That's my weakest subject matter of Star Trek. So. If it's in there, like, you know, I don't know as much about Enterprise as a lot of other people.
all I remember, it's been a long road. Getting from there to here. It's been a long time. But my time is finally here.
Oh, you're just going to do the whole thing? Because I can. Like,
I can't.
I've seen that TV show multiple times, so I've heard that theme tune at least 200 times.
Yeah. So, like, fun fact about it, everyone, because like obviously it got very criticized when it came out and everything, the theme song. I was like,
who cares?
I like it.
Yeah, right. And then they try to fix it where they added the up tempo and the beat. Yeah. And I was just like, it's the same song. Like, I don't know what the fuck's wrong. Like, just whatever, man.
It's like, it's just because everyone's like, even though that's iconic and awesome.
They're all iconic. They're all iconic theme tunes.
Yeah.
But
nothing's more iconic as do 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 do.
Have you ever seen the Jessie Jenner video where she talks about the fact that there was supposed to be lyrics to that theme tune?
Yeah.
I can't remember the lyrics offhand, but they are terrible.
What they fucking are. It was 70s. It's the 70s.
It was the 60s.
It was out. Like, fuck that shit.
Wow. Like, you come into a podcast every week with like no expectations of what's going to happen, but I didn't anticipate singing the Star Trek Enterprise theme song. They didn't even call it Star Trek when it first came out. It was just Enterprise.
Yeah, the first captain, the first ship. I remember the Sky One advert for that. It was before Janeway.
Oh, yeah.
Before Cisco. Before Picard. Before Kirk. The first captain.
I remember a magazine advert which was it was a picture of Archer in the brown spacesuit, which I thought was weird.
Oh, yeah.
A weird choice. And it just said, "Meet Kirk's hero." I was like, okay. Why'd you choose the spacesuit?
Why is it floating like a turd in space?
Yeah. Why did you choose the poop spacesuit?
But everyone could be questionable to Cisco's like, Kirk is his icon. And it's like, Kirk has done some questionable things, yeah. Cisco.
So like Archer is Kirk's icon. Kirk is Picard's icon. The sequence gets broken when you get to Cisco because fucking Picard is not Cisco's icon.
No,
he fucking hates him.
Yeah. We met in battle at Wolf 359. Ah, shit.
If I had a nickel for every time, so a captain on Star Trek dumped their trauma of Wolf 359 on Jean-Luc Picard, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
It's true. No doubt, but yeah, a lot of fun. Hell
yeah. Do you know what else?
So much fun.
It is.
What you were going to say? Go for it.
No, I was going to do a segue. I was going to be like, do you know what else is fun? Video games.
I want to talk about one more thing.
We'll go for it. Well, that's in keeping with the main topic of this show, Moody. What's your one more thing?
Live long and prosper, Mr. Bolia. I love that when I saw the trailer. It was
the Tracy Wills trailer.
I can't wait for that episode. I'm not as big a hyped on Strange New Worlds as you are and everything and whatnot, but I enjoyed the first season. Like, there's some banger episodes. The finale I thought was really, really great and everything. And the setup for a potential villain is very interesting for what they could be doing with that. But no, yeah, just to hear that those two are coming into this series just for one episode. I hope they reference it in Lower Decks season 5.
They will. They'll reference it.
I hope so. I hope so.
I call
Maybe it's them beaming up or beaming away. That's the end of that episode, and they're going to Lower Decks, and Pine's going to Lower Decks. Not Pine. Yeah, Pike.
There was a like when you remember the Flash, the Arrowverse and stuff. That it'll be like that on there, where it's like there was a Flash episode where he just ran through a portal and then reappeared again, and it was like where the fuck did you go? And then like a few weeks later, it was like there was a Supergirl episode, and he just fucking turned up on Supergirl, and it was like, oh, that was where it went. It'll be like that.
Yeah, probably, yeah. But no, yeah, it's I'm so hyped. So I am hyped for that. Yeah. I hope they don't drag it out. Please don't be like near the end of the season. Please be like the third or fourth episode. Please just get in there, get out. I know the first episode's going to be like solving, like saving the second in command and everything and whatnot. But yeah, like don't take too long for this.
Take all the time.
Because I'm just excited as hell. It's going to be weird not hearing them swear. First, especially Mariner. Like, I think for every sentence she says in Lower Decks is with a swear word.
if I was writing that episode, I would like hang a lantern on it and just be like, and just have like Boimler be like, can't swear we're on the Enterprise.
Oh my god, that's genius.
Did I ever tell you that I took a writing course at university?
So I think it's funny though that Spock has had, for both trailers, has had the ending of the trailer, and it's iconic. It's just like, yes.
I would like the ship to go now. See his little dorky dance?
Yes, I saw that. I saw that. And I saw the thing with the doctor, or the nurse, is it? Can't remember.
She's mine now. No.
He's nicked her.
I mean, if I'm in competition with Spock, I mean, I know he's winning that. It's not me.
Go for his missus. His missus is hot.
I mean, yeah, sure, but she's boring. She's all like Vulcan and proper, and I'm just like...
She can Vulcan all over me. Let's get into video games, Emery. Video games. Now that's a segue.
Well, that's a segue. Okay, you win. You win the segue wars this week, but I'll be back. PlayStation Showcase, me. There was a PlayStation Showcase last night. I know you saw it, because I saw it with you. We experienced this showcase together. It started with me wearing a Nintendo t-shirt, booing Jim Ryan. And then a hot butch lady turned up on screen, and Rudy just started saying, step on me, over and over again. And we bring something I feel unique to the live stream reaction space.
Because everyone else, like, I've watched a little bit of like Kind of Funnies, and they're just like, oh, oh, that looks nice. That looks nice. And I'm just like, fucking hell, man.
Rudy's like, step on me, step on me,
step on me.
You just have fun with it.
Yeah. It's like, yo, we gotta go for it in here. Like, no, at the end of the day, we saw some awesome looking games, which is fantastic. Here's a great diversity of type of games for different type of gamers out there. They basically had genres of everything for everybody to literally get off on and whatnot, and it was just like really, really good. And it's like, that's what we want. I've already gone full dirty. I'm just going to continue. Okay.
I'm just not going to acknowledge it. What were your general thoughts of the showcase as a whole?
The general thoughts overall, if you're wanting for a full-on entertainment thing, like of like the top tier of what like PlayStation have done before, it's probably like a average show overall. Because it never really had really true hard hitters. Like from the first party, I think what everyone has been screaming out for and whatnot. The real only first party thing they had there was Spider-Man and everything, which looks great. And like I cannot wait to be Spider-Man again and Miles Morales again, swinging around in New York City and everything, in Queens and whatnot. It looks so good, and I really am looking forward to that. But I loved some of, like, I shouted out many indie games out there throughout all of it. They had a lot of great games. Ghost Runner 2 had a lot of fun. I loved the first Ghost Runner. I thought it was a lot of fun. Sword of the Sea, that just looks breathtaking from the trailer. It's a
rundown of the games.
Yeah. And I think it just, like, they had a great diverse amount of games just for an entertainment, though. It was lacking for... just for the first party, I can see where people have had criticisms with it for it. But again, is it us overhyping ourselves?
Well, that's a good question. First off, let me just say, because I've just thought of this joke and I want to try and remember it, so I'm going to speak it aloud. When I play Spider-Man 2, because I was thinking about streaming it. And I get to be Miles Morales, and I'm beating Peter Parker up. And at one point, if I can remember to, while I'm beating him up, shout, "I'm gonna beat you so bad, your face is gonna look like your original face actor," because I think that would be really funny. But anyway, I was taking the piss through the entire live stream last night. You should have expected
really
this.
Hell yeah, you were.
So Final Fantasy 16 trailer, I just went, "Wow, that was the whitest trailer I've seen all night." But no, so I don't know what you said before I did my Spider-Man joke now. An
average show.
Average show. Yeah, like, I mean, I thought the show was fine, like, but I think that in and of itself is disappointing for a PlayStation showcase. Like, if they'd called this a state of play, this would have been the best state of play I've ever seen. And probably the best state of play I ever see ever again, because I've always found state of players to be quite mid, but I'm used to that.
Yeah.
Because that's what they are. Like, they're quite dry, and, they're okay, but they're not amazing. Showcases, though, they've been bangers. Like, they've always been bangers. So when they called it a showcase, obviously that raises expectations, because it's like, oh, this is a fucking showcase. Holy shit. This is a fucking showcase, Moody. And
it's their first one in 2 years.
Yeah. And then, like, I'm looking at the rundown of the list of games, and I put them in the order that they were shown. And it's like, there's some good games on that list. Like, there's some good-looking games on the list. There's even some good-looking games that I'm looking at. But I'm looking at, like, the first 12 games, and I'm like, they didn't come out swinging. PlayStation always come out swinging. And for the first time ever, they just didn't.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I thought they would have started with a first-party game, and they didn't. They ended on it.
Well, they did. Fair Games is a first-party game. This is the thing I wanted to talk about.
That's what people are forgetting. We're forgetting about them.
This is the benefit, I think, of everyone else out there. They watched it, they reacted to it, and then they were like, and now we're going to record our thoughts on the showcase immediately after the show. Me and Moody, we've had like 20... We went to bed. Well, you went to bed.
I did, yeah, I did, yeah, you didn't.
No, I was recording some Zelda footage for a video. We've waited like a day to watch it. So I've had time to A, watch what other people have said about it.
Yeah.
And B, think about it, right? Like, really think about it. And, like, a common theme, apart from disappointment, I'm seeing a lot of people were very disappointed with this. And I was, like, a bit disappointed that the showcase wasn't a banger. But at the same time, I was like, okay, cool. Like, I mean, I'm obsessed with Alan Wake. I got Alan Wake. That's awesome. But, another common theme I'm seeing is like, people were disappointed that this wasn't, like, the roadmap for, like, the next phase of PlayStation, like you talked about yesterday. But it was. Like, it just wasn't, because it wasn't the roadmap that everybody had envisaged that it was. Sony
player,
Bend
boom,
and single
boom,
player and Ghost of Tsushima and whatever Naughty Dog's working on and Sucker Punch and all this stuff.
I know where you're going here. I know where
but
you're
it
going
was
here,
because we saw plenty of first-party PlayStation studios. They're just making live service games.
Yeah.
Which the more I thought about it, I was like, but we knew that already.
Yeah, we did.
So what we saw was the roadmap of the next phase of PlayStation 5.
The next 2-3 years, of PlayStation 5, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just had this light bulb moment, and I was like, well, no, we did because we saw 3 or 4 first-party live service games and a couple of. And that fucking weird looking soap one by Square Enix, which we'll talk about a bit. But that's what we saw, and that's what we got, and that's going to be what the immediate future is. What surprised me a lot was we didn't see factions. The next phase of PlayStation 5 is live service, and they've still got Spider-Man, and probably maybe 1 or 2 other games in the next sort of 2 years. But if you're going to lead with live service, surely factions should have been number 1, right?
Especially, I think a lot of people's taking, what happened on the Games Fest last year. That, obviously Neil Druckmann came on when they were talking about Last of Us Part 1 remaster, or remake. That they're going to talk about factions this year. Mm-hmm. And everyone, obviously, because it was a showcase, everyone just assumed, just like I think all of us did, that factions would be here and everything like that. But we don't know, obviously, what's going on with the life cycle with this.
And that's fair enough, yeah. That's fair enough. But, the issue they're having is, one, they don't have a core audience that is... their core audience expects single-player games. The prestige narrative-driven single-player games that they've been getting for the last years. X years. Yeah. And the second one is, if you're going to... if say the first game that they'd shown had been Factions, right? That's a known IP. That's known to them. It's one of their biggest franchises in their first party roster, and it's multiplayer. And in this case, it will be multiplayer as well. So that almost would be reassuring. And then what follows is, hey, here's a bunch of other ones, like the Haven Studio one, and Bungie's doing a new thing. And then it's okay, cool, but because it's just a bunch of stuff that no one's ever seen or heard of before, which is cool. We like cool new IPs, but also does it feel like PlayStation are chasing trends here?
A little bit. Because
I heard a lot of words yesterday that I don't associate with PlayStation usually, but there are a lot of words that I'm tired of, like extraction shooter, 3v3 heist game, and I'm just for me, none of that does anything for me.
True. Doesn't do anything for me either. It's also a trend that is kind of dying.
Well, this is the thing. We talked about this a few weeks ago when Suicide Squad's gameplay debuted, and it's they've chased a trend that's already over.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing as well, is PlayStation's tripling down on this live service model. They're going to release a lot of live service games at a time when a lot of live service games are just shutting down, after a year at best. Vampire Bloodhunt, that was that multiplayer game that I played a little bit of last year. That's done. It's finished. They've cancelled the development. The team's moving on to something else. It's so wow. How many of these games that PlayStation are making now are going to be playable in 2 years?
Probably not many.
Well, this is the thing. It's PlayStation are a console manufacturer, so they're different in terms of closing stuff down, but also remember Destruction All Stars, because that was a live service game and it was reasonably fun, and people who had PS Plus could download it for free, which was good because you needed it to play it. But I mean, how many people stuck around on that game?
None.
I didn't. I moved on. It was just a gap filler for me, and it was fine, but there was nothing there that would make me stick on it. And you can't just make a live service game that's fine in a landscape where Destiny and PUBG and Apex and Fortnite and all the big hitters exist, because you've got to try and pull people away from those games.
That's true, yeah. That it's a weird thing, just what they're going for and everything, and it's I guess we'll see what happens with it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just don't think it helped that none of the live service games popped but to the degree that when people are talking about the showcase, they're going, "Well, the first parties weren't there," like they're forgetting about them.
Yeah.
And I mean, that happens, with a showcase of 30 plus games. It's like you forget about games, right? Sometimes even games that you go, "That looks good," and then immediately it's gone.
Yeah, that's true. There's no doubt about it.
But should we run down the games to talk about ones that we wanted to talk about or like the look of? Or maybe maybe have some hot takes. I've got some hot takes for some stuff.
Give me hot takes.
Well, mostly near the bottom. So we started with Fair Games, which has a very strong anti-capitalist message that I approve of wholeheartedly. Which is Jade Raymond Studio Haven.
It's a capitalism game, though.
Yeah.
For them to make money.
Oh, you should improve society. But yeah, it's a 3v3. It's a heist multiplayer game. And I was like, okay, cool. No, thank you.
Yeah, I had no interest in this. Like anyone who is looking forward to this, good for them and everything. But yeah,
and people are gonna be like, but Amy, you're biased against multiplayer games. Sorry, I didn't realize you were gonna keep talking there.
Stop.
Okay, cool. I must have just be imagining things. This is good. It's good. Painkillers are kicking in. Yeah, but I'm not biased.
Is that your loophole to get out of anyone arguing with you later on?
Yeah.
On Twitter.
Wait, I said what? No, I didn't. But no, I'm not biased against multiplayer games because the next game they showed was Helldivers 2, and I love the first one, and the new one's like third person over the shoulder multiplayer co-op game, and I'm like, cool. So I was like, Mooney, let's play Helldivers.
We'll have a look at that. Yeah, definitely.
And I've tagged Keith in it, but then I was like, oh yeah, Keith's a peasant. He doesn't have PS5, so he can't play this. He'll buy I guarantee this. Mark this down in history to come back to later. He'll buy a PS5 when Persona 6 comes out.
And not play it.
No, he will. Because he bought his PS4 to play Persona 5, and that was basically I think that was practically the only game he played on it as well.
I can't say much. I bought my Switch basically just to play Pokemon games, so...
Yeah, but at least there's more than one of them.
That is true, and it's cheaper than a PS5 as well.
And it's cheaper than a PS5. But yeah, no, Helldivers 2, it looks fun. It's got the whole humor from the original Helldivers. I love the part where we were streaming last night, and you were like, this looks like Starship Troopers," and it's like, yeah, that was what Helldivers was based on.
Yeah, no, I had no idea.
It's basically just the Starship Troopers the game, because there wasn't a Starship Troopers in the game. Legally distinct Starship Troopers. The next game we got was Immortals of Avenom. I think that's how you pronounce it, and it looked very fine. I'm just gonna say it looked okay. I don't want to say mean. This is what I mean. I don't want to say mean words about it, but it was like it happened. Images were flashing in front of my screen, and they were moving in front of my eyes, and they were moving, and I was looking at them.
Oh, this is the EA one, I think.
Yeah, it's the EA originals.
Yeah,
it's a bunch of ex-Call of Duty developers who are making a fantasy game.
They were sick of doing a shooter.
Yeah, so they're doing a shooter.
Yeah.
But it's just got magic instead of guns.
Yeah, true. It's didn't tickle my fancy or anything like that. But like I said, anyone who looking forward to this, go for it. I think you'll have fun with it.
Yeah. What's funny is I'm like, ones that we're not going to say anything about, I can just run through really quickly. But I'm looking at the list, going, we're going to say a lot about a lot. Despite the fact that we were both like, yeah, the showcase was mid. We were like, but there's a lot of things to talk about.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I'm going to hand it over to you because the next game we got was Ghost Runner 2.
Fucking Ghost Runner 2? Oh my god. Ghost Runner 1 was absolutely amazing when it came out. It was in my top 10, I think, of that year when we did our Game of the Year list.
Okay.
And it was just a badass game. And I can't wait to give this one a go. I cross fingers that it will hit 2023. At the end of the year, probably. But no, yeah, I am looking forward to this. It's just it upped the ante on its visuals, which it already looked visually good. But then I forget, the first one came out on PS4 still, and it's like fucking hell.
It's like next gen glow, man.
The next gen neon light glow. But no, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It looked badass. So everyone Ghost Runner fan, boom, we got goodness this last night.
Could you ride a motorbike in the first one?
No, I don't think so.
Cool. Because on the trailer last night, it looked like you could ride a motorbike, and I was like, "Well, that's interesting." But I've not really played it, so I couldn't remember if you could do it on the first one or not. The next one was Phantom Blade Zero.
I love the look of this one. I thought this one looked really canny. A hack and slash Japanese samurai game. Just like it felt like I can't remember what I was saying last night about it. It felt like it felt like it was going like for obviously the Dark Souls type players and everything, but it had a mixture of like Kojima in there with the Metal Gear, like the different looking bosses and everything that you were going up against, and I was just like, I liked it. I really liked it. I don't like the look at this game. It looked like a lot of fun.
Looked very, very interesting. Sword of the Sea was next.
Sword of the Sea, I think that is
This was the Journey one.
Journey developer. What can we say here? This is the Journey fucking developer. They when they release a game, they're going to announce it. I think you at least pay attention to this, and it looked breathtaking. Absolutely breathtaking, and I really can't wait to give this a go. And hopefully, I think they said 2024.
Let me just look. I'm on the PlayStation.
Yeah, the ones who did Abzu, Pathless, and Journey. Like,
it just says releasing on PS5. Stay tuned for updates and release dates. And yeah, Pathless, man. Like, I've never,
Pathless was amazing.
Secret time, really. I've never played Journey, but I've played.
I was
Pathless,
very late to it.
I fucking love Pathless.
Pathless was amazing. Came out, I think, same year as Ghost Runner as well.
Yeah, it did. It came out. It was a launch title for the PS5.
Yeah, it was absolutely an awesome game. So yeah,
that's good.
They've raised it up every time when it comes to their game, especially with like combat and everything. Like Pathless's combat was amazing and very unique.
Well, it's got that. Sword of the Sea still looks like it's got that movement.
Yeah,
because you built up speed and you did the whole, and it looked like but like on this you're surfing around on a sword scabbard. And yeah.
All we need is the pointy end to stab them with, so we're good.
Yeah, I guess that's what we're looking for.
Do you know how to use that thing? Yeah, pointy end goes in the
yeah, this end in their person. There we go. Got to change it up a bit so you're not like just doing a Game of Thrones cut.
True.
We had the Talos Principle 2 next, which I've heard good things about the first one, but I never played it, so...
I never played it either, so I can't really comment on it. It'll be unfair for me to make a real comment. But the fans of the franchise, you got a sequel coming, people.
Cool. More puzzles. Maybe I'll even play this one. And then we got Neva, which came close, I think, to making both of us cry.
This was the one with the crossover of wolf and stag breed, and the art style looks absolutely incredible from the creators of Grisp.
Yeah, it's called, I think it's pronounced Grease.
Greece. It looks just from the trailer alone. I'm just like, yes.
Fuck me up, but emotionally this time.
By the end of it, I think we were both like, okay.
I'm pretty sure I was making jokes. I even made a joke about this where I was like, I'm making jokes at the end of this trailer so I avoid an Ori and a Blind Forest situation occurring on stream again.
Yeah. True.
I was like, nope, not doing that again. But I'm in because Greece was a fantastic game, and
yeah, it really was. I've never played it, but I heard great things.
And
so,
God damn it, they had to make of cute animals.
Who knew a combination of a stag and a wolf would look so damn adorable?
It make me want to cry.
It's Bambi's mother all over again.
Oh, fuck. It is.
It's Mufasa all over again. Oh my god.
Fuck's sake. Damn you, Disney. We also had Cat Quest come up after this, which...
This looked adorable.
It looked fun. It looked adorable.
So adorable. But here comes your favorite game.
And then fucking Soapy Splatoon itself. Fucking foam stars. I was watching other people's podcasts and listening to stuff, and I heard the best summary of this was was from Andy Cortez, who said like this is probably one of the only times where the cinematic has played, and then it's transitioned into gameplay, and it looks worse.
Oh yeah, it didn't.
And I was like, this didn't look good.
Transition really well.
And then they were like, it's Square Enix. It's a live service game. And it's like, well, there's no need to fucking pay attention to it.
Get invested in it,
because it's going to get shut down.
You get shut down within a year.
Like, I like the idea of other developers bringing, like, a twist on Splatoon. Which is a game, I played the third one last year. Finally played a Splatoon game and really loved it. But, like, it's Square Enix. They closed like 6 live service games down in January. So like I'm not gonna play. Yep. I'm not gonna put anything into this. And I think Square is now in this. They're in this like this vicious cycle where it's like they're gonna keep trying to release multiplayer games, but no one's gonna trust them because the last multiplayer games got killed. So then they're gonna kill these ones because no one's playing them. And also, it just didn't look very. I'm sorry, I'm not usually that person. It just didn't look very good.
Even the trailer, the art style was off as well for me. I was just like, it's too glossy. It's too.
I could see what they were going for, but yeah, it just didn't. Like my eyes just couldn't settle on it.
Yeah.
And then
I could settle on the next one. Though.
Yeah, we had the Plucky Squire next.
This looks amazing. Let's just be frank here. It looks absolutely amazing. And I really can't wait to play this. I'm crossing fingers that we'll get a release date to Devolver Digital.
Well, they reckon it's going to be. They still reckon it's going to be this year. So
yeah,
I mean,
maybe a shadow drop, and then we just drop everything and play it together.
I don't know. Who knows? I thought it was going to be a shadow drop last night.
I know.
Overreaching. I was overreaching.
You did.
Hey, I'm allowed.
You're allowed to overreach.
I can keep my expectations in check on like half of the internet, right?
The internet has no check. They don't know how to keep check. They don't understand check.
I was like, I think this is going to shower drop, and then it didn't shower drop, or it didn't piss me off. I just went, oh well. It was a cool trailer though. This game looks dope. Like nothing's ever going to beat that first reveal trailer. For like how it blew everybody's mind, and it was like, and then he jumps out of the storybook into a 3D world, and everyone just collectively went, "What the fuck?
What is going on here?"
But yeah, no, the Plucky Squire is Plucky, yeah, perfect. What no, it went on. Teardown, which has been out on PC for a while, is coming to PlayStation. And yeah, it looks cool. Like, Teardown is a game I've been interested in, so I might use the console release as an excuse to play it.
Yeah.
It's like a voxel game where, like, everything is, like, made up of tiny individual voxels. So the whole thing is, like, really destructible, but, like, in really cool and interesting ways. And I love me a good, like, reactive world and lots of cool physics.
Yeah, you do, like, yeah.
So I'm just going to run around and be like, Amy, you've been playing this level for an hour and a half now. Are you going to steal the thing at some point? And I'm just like punching a door. Just being like, this is so fucking cool. And then we got. Is it weird that this and apparently this leaked before the showcase.
Yeah.
Apparently, I didn't see it, so I came into this not expecting it. Did this feel underwhelming somehow? Like Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater Remake, somehow felt underwhelming?
Yeah. Because...
It was such a weird moment.
It was a weird trailer.
Didn't have a developer.
No.
I don't know if you noticed on the trailer. Installment was spelled wrong. And it just said development team, because I went back and rewatched this.
This tells me this is really early, probably.
Yeah.
Like, really early.
And, like, it's just so strange where it was like, because I even managed to call it before we got the reveal of Snake and what the game was, because it's fucking Snake Eater. And then it just came and went, and it was like, okay. It was like a shrug of the shoulders, but it's like, it's the metal. This is the thing everybody's been banging on about for years. And it just kind of went.
Yeah. It wasn't like, I don't know if it was like a thing of that, because we didn't have a crowd or anything like that. Because I remember like when we had the reveal for like Final Fantasy VII.
Oh fuck!
Fucking hell! Like that when you heard the crowd, you were just like, "Holy shit! They're fucking doing it!" Just like Easy Allies.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you going to say Hubert?
Yeah,
Hubert and Bosman, because
you maniacs.
Yeah, Hubert, Bosman, and Brad. And the only reason I know that is because one, I like the Easy Allies, and two, sometimes I go back and watch that when I need to feel good about myself.
Yeah, yeah, I rewatched some of the best showcases that we've had, like
no, their reactions. I watched
their reactions,
I watched
like,
the Easy
really
Allies
well.
reactions. That and Shenmue straight after.
Like when they like reveal God of War is like amazing when they watch that. So it's incredible. But no, it's a.
It was
I don't know why. I just feel like it. Yeah, I think it just felt like it got gobbled up by other stuff, which is weird to think of a game that everyone's been waiting for. This should have started the show.
Do you think this? I don't think it could have. Just by the nature of the reveal, I don't think it was powerful enough to start the show. Like without
KOTOR started the show practically the last time they did one, and it was just and that's all it was, and everyone was just like, yes, and then the life cycle and everything. We don't even know if that game's actually coming anymore.
Oh dear God! Let's talk about that later. But I don't know. It just felt like a damn squib, and it shouldn't have. Do you think this was the point where we were coming to the slow dawning realization that this showcase was fine, but it wasn't going to get any better? Because it's about the midpoint, right?
Maybe, yeah. It was pretty much the midpoint, wasn't it? Yeah.
Because the next game I just had to look up because I don't remember what it was. There was also the Metal Gear Solid 1 to 3 remasters, which I'm looking forward to because I've never played Metal Gear Solid 1 to 3.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is really awesome. I love the old Metal Gears. So
I've always wanted to play them, and now this is going to give me a convenient and easy way to do that. But the next game
you're getting a remaster of Metal Gear Solid 3, but you're also getting a remake of Metal Gear Solid 3. Sticky.
This tells me the remake is several years away.
yeah, definitely. This is a deal that's maybe took 2 years to get done. Probably only got done maybe 2 years ago, if not even early or even later. And it's
also the remake's also coming on Xbox.
Yes, everyone forgets that. I think everyone thinks.
Well, was it like 5 minutes after the showcase ended? Xbox put a graphic up, which was just like, "Hey, these games look pretty good," and it was just all the games from the PlayStation showcase that were also coming on Xbox. I was like, I respect it.
Konami, unless they were given a big ton of money from PlayStation, they were never going to allow this not to be cross-platform. So,
so we got Towers of Aghasba next, which was the adventure game / building game where you're like bringing life back to the world.
Oh yeah. I remember this. Yeah, it was very unusual. The trailer was very unusual. The trailer came across like dark and broody, and then suddenly just turned into a quirky.
Yeah, and it was like it's a fun indie adventure, and it's like okay,
yeah,
that was weird.
Yeah, it was really really weird.
Final Fantasy 16 was next, which was fine. It was a fine trailer. I'm surprised there wasn't a demo drop to go along with it. But I'm at the point with Final Fantasy 16 where I'm like, I just want to play the game now.
Yeah,
we've had a lot dropped for it over the past few months, and it's just like I think it's getting saturated for me now.
Possibly. Sorry,
I cut you off like twice there. I apologize. After that, we got Alan Wake 2, and like I said on Twitter after the showcase, I said my top 5 reveals from the PlayStation showcase: Alan Wake 2, October 17th. Those are my top 5 reveals. It was a joke. And I mean, fucking hell, it looks so good.
It does look good.
I'm so happy.
I am intrigued. I've not played the first one. Don't think I will, and I might just dive straight into the sequel.
No, well, I was actually thinking about this last night. I was like, I'd play Alan Wake again. So maybe what if I just streamed it like I did with Lost Judgment, and you could just come along for the ride?
See how I feel.
Because you get
Lost Judgment was a thing just happened. So
you get to experience the story, but what you don't get to experience is the dogshit 2010 third-person controls.
Didn't they fix that with the remake?
I don't think so.
Okay. Oh shit!
It was a remaster, and also I don't think I own the remaster. I think it's just on the original one. But yeah, I'm so excited. Alan Wake's back. He looks like Keanu Reeves. It's the whole thing. Yeah. And there's a black protagonist. Like they're doing a dual protagonist thing. The FBI lady.
Oh, they've gone woke.
They've gone woke.
Woke.
Yeah.
Woke culture. She's a diversity harrier. Diversity character. That's it.
Diversity higher. Polygons on the screen. But yeah, sure.
Yep.
Assassin's Creed Mirage was next. It's weird they didn't space these out a bit.
Yeah. It's like all over the place when it came to spacing.
Was there there was a bit of a pacing thing going on with the PlayStation showcase, wasn't there?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But no, yeah. Unless this game comes out and everyone says this is amazing, Assassin's Creed's kind of like done right now for me. Forget about like the whole of everything of what's happening with Ubisoft. Like, fix your fucking work culture for fuck's sakes. The game's just.
Nothing
and I think it's also
right now.
Yeah, and I think it's a mixture of like things of like, I don't really want to help support Ubisoft type of thing, but at the same time, you've done great games before. I've played them. Far Cry 3, Assassin's Creed 2, the Ezio trilogy, for God's sakes. I love the Ezio trilogy. I think they're really banging games. And then you've got like Black Flag, you've got bloody Syndicate, you've got bloody Odyssey. I know you were mixed on Odyssey for yourself, but I loved that game. Cassandra was badass. I wish we could have had a sequel of that and just played Cassandra again.
Instead of Valhalla. Maybe Smoody would still like Assassin's Creed if you'd made Odyssey 2.
Valhalla was so fucking bad.
I've heard of
Cassandra's in us. Cassandra's in Valhalla, though.
Oh, shit.
They did the DLC spin-off for her to have be in it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, the thing with Assassin's Creed is, like, I've been out for a while. Like, I didn't even touch Valhalla. Like, Ubisoft in general just aren't making games that speak to me right now. Like, it's not a boycott. Like, I think people assume that I'm boycotting Ubisoft because I haven't played a Ubisoft game for 3 years. But, like, I just... none of their games are speaking to me, so I'm just not going to play them. Like, if I... It's not fair. Like, if I was going to boycott Ubisoft, it's not fair on the developers. Like, I know, like, I called that argument out a few months ago, but this is a different situation, right? Different type of situation where it's like, if the developers made something really cool that looks really cool, I'm going to play it and say it's really fucking cool, and also talk about, you know, some of the stuff that the executives get up to at the same time. But like, they're not making anything that looks really cool. Like, to me personally, I'm just not interested in anything that they've shown so like for the last few years.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it. Like, everyone knows I'm a huge Avatar fan. I love the Avatar franchise. Can't wait for the number 3 to come out in 2024 and kick Sonic 3's ass and everything. But like, fucking hell, like, I'm not even excited for the Avatar game, for God's sakes. You knew I had to add that in there. Don't give us that look.
Revenant Hill. This was the game from the developers of Night in the Woods.
Kitty Cat game.
The Kitty Cat game, yeah.
Another Kitty Cat game. This looked, again, art style. I'm a sucker for unique, different art styles. And this just looked breathtaking. I was just like, I'm intrigued. I'm there. Give me this now, type of thing. And
Revenant Hill follows the story of a cat called Twigs who's trying to make ends meet. I'm in. I like Night in the Woods a lot. It was a very good game. After that, we had Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. And then after that, we had Street Fighter 6, which looks cool, but I'm not really that bothered because fighting games aren't my bag.
You know what? I think I'm going to be renting that when you're here.
Well, I'll be here, right? Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, so let's have a bang. Let's have a gun with it. I'm getting it on PS5. Bring your PS5 controller.
I'll mash some buttons.
Hell yeah! And whack it on stream. Boom.
It'll be something we do between showcases, isn't it?
Between showcase breaks, yeah, basically, yeah. It's either that or Diablo.
I want to play Diablo, so.
Ooh, hey.
Just saying.
Might have to get a third controller because I know the missus loves Diablo.
I've never played Diablo before. I've never played a single minute of a Diablo game.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's just never been the right time, I guess.
In your fancy, yeah.
It's been my fancy. Like, I know Diablo 4 came out was Era 37, so I just skipped it and then never went back. And
The Diablo 3, that was.
That was 3. What was 4?
This is Diablo 4.
This is Diablo 4. That was 3.
Yeah.
And then there was the auction house, cash shop stuff. And then I wasn't really a PC gamer around 2 and 1, so.
That's fair.
There's a couple of games that came up, Ultros and Tower of Fantasy, and I don't remember either of them. Do you remember either of these games?
Ultros, I recognize that name.
I remember Tower of Fantasy.
Yes,
because...
Ultros, I remember Ultros. That's the colourful Metrovania.
One.
It's the one where we were both saying, and now we're blind, or something like that.
I'm on drugs.
Everything. Yeah. I love the look of that. Again, unique, something different, changing it up and everything, not just sticking to the same formula of 60 frames, 60 frames, 4K, blah blah blah. And whatnot, but I like the look of that one. What was the other one?
Tower of Fantasy. The only reason I remember this one is because we made a joke about all the games that had fantasy and that weren't Final Fantasy.
Yeah. This was again just like another looking Final Fantasy game.
Yeah. Dragon's Dogma 2.
Dragon's Dogma 2, that was badass. I like the look of this trailer. I haven't played Dragon's Dogma, but I've always been interested in it because I heard just great things. I heard the boss battles, big monster battles in it were really, really canny in it. And but I've just never grabbed it to go, yes, let's do this type of thing. But now,
let's do this.
Yeah, this one I think I'll definitely give a ganja when it comes out and whatnot.
All right, cool. Yeah, I played the first one, but I didn't like it. I don't remember why, because it was like 12 years ago.
It's because you were still on the Skyrim.
Oh yeah, of course I was. Yeah, you know me and Skyrim.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna do the next ones as a block because this was the PSVR 2 block, and I'm gonna sum it up like all at once. So we got Five Nights at Freddy's, Help Wanted 2, Resident Evil 4 VR mode, Arizona Sunshine 2, Crossfire Sierra Squad, PSVR, and Synapse. And I'm just gonna say it. This is the new Vita. I said it on the stream last night. It trended on Twitter this morning. This is the new Vita. I don't think PlayStation. I don't know why they bothered with a second headset at this point, because it doesn't seem like they give a shit. And I know that other developers have to give a shit to release VR games on their platform. I know it's not just a PlayStation thing, but it's like this is exactly what happened to the Vita. I lived through this once. I'm not getting the heart broken again.
That's fair.
I was devastated when Vita went the way it went.
That's true. That's fair.
And that sucks for these games. I was laughing. Arizona. I played the first Arizona Sunshine at Russ's house, and I was laughing when you got to slap a zombie with a zombie's hand. It's funny. But at the same time, Five Nights at Freddy's notwithstanding, these are all games where you shoot things. It's just like, can we have other types of experiences, please? So those are my thoughts. Apart from Beat Saber.
But you slash things.
Wait, hold on a minute. I got this list directly from the chapters on the PlayStation Showcase YouTube, which means Beat Saber wasn't on the list. Yes, Beat Saber as well. But yeah, the majority of them were about shooting things. Which some video games as well, but I don't know. It's just we have a whole new dimension of gaming. It's like, can we maybe do something different with it?
Shut it.
After that, we got a pair of Bungie games. Destiny 2, The Final Shape, which is the next expansion. There's going to be a showcase for that in August. And Marathon's coming back as a 3v3 extraction shooter.
I've never heard of Marathon, so I can't really comment on it.
That's super old first-person shooter like Bungie made before Halo.
Yeah.
I think it was on Apple platforms. But, I don't have any connection to Marathon. I just know that it was a thing that happened, many, many, many years ago. The art style for this looked killer. But it is another live service game that doesn't catch my fancy.
True. Yeah. The thing about it, even though we've talked about the live service games all the time when they were when PlayStation have talked about it and everything like that, they were never going to, I think, hook us in really that much unless it was something that just literally somehow grabbed us. But I never really thought it was ever going to happen. I mean, when we played Apex, that was a thing that I think was more just it was
a lockdown thing. That wasn't.
Yeah, it was a lockdown thing. Yeah, more than anything.
It's weird that I spent a long time. I always had a a shooter, an online shooter, like unbroken line for the longest time. And then when we stopped playing Apex, we moved on to different kinds of multiplayer games. We started playing Faz and Among Us and Fall Guys, and then since then I just haven't had a multiplayer shooter, and haven't felt the need for one. You know, like I played Halo Infinite when it came out, and I was like, that was fun for a bit, but like no one's playing it, like that I know. So it's just like there's only so much fun that I can have with this if none of my friends are playing it. Like that was the other thing. It's like when I played Apex, I was playing it with you. When I played PUBG, people were coming on Twitch to watch me be a fucking idiot and never win. When I was playing Overwatch, you know, I was playing it with 5 other people competitively. So like there was always like other people, you know. Whereas now I think the majority of us, for one, we've all splintered off into different platforms, whereas we were all concentrated on Xbox before. And two, I mean, it's just a case of nothing's really come out to grab us. Like I thought maybe Overwatch 2 might bring the gang back together, but obviously that didn't work out for a variety of reasons.
Well, one of them flew the coot, so
that too. And it's just a shame, but
it's a shame
because the next game was a live service game. So it was called Concord, and I don't remember this one either.
Never do I.
The game that was before Spider-Man.
That was before the PlayStation Q announcement.
Oh yeah, it was. It's fucking PlayStation Q announcement. They're making the shittest looking mobile thing. And it's a cloud device, and I was like, cool, it's a handheld, and yeah, it is, but you have to use it on Wi-Fi, so you can't take it out of the house. And Concord is a PvP multiplayer first-person shooter from the developer Firewalk. I just wanted to look it up because I was like, what the fuck was that again?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
but yeah, PlayStation Q. It's just it's a streaming device for like I can see a limited use for it, where it's like, you know, if you and Sophia had things set up on the same TV and Sophia wanted to watch something that Sophia watches, and you wanted to play Spider-Man, you could just pop it on and play it. But that's like the only use for it, right? Like, and I'm just
normal
like,
people. Me, I'll just leave the room and come to my own.
Because you've got your PlayStation set up in a different place. Like I've got my PlayStation set up in a different place, but like. Yeah. Beyond that, it's just like, you know, you've got
the normals.
Yeah, you've got Xbox Cloud Gaming, which is on your phone, so you already have the device, you know, and you take it wherever you want, and you can just start playing games on it. And it's like, as a concept, that's awesome. And if PlayStation are just trying to be different for the sake of being different, it's not a good idea. And also, because this isn't tied to a phone, I dread to think how much it's going to cost. The earbuds look nice, though. But the earbuds look nice.
Yeah, they look kind of
and then it was Spider-Man
final
time.
thing.
It was Spider-Man time.
Spider-Man probably is the overall best thing that was shown this podcast, this showcase. It looked fantastic. Let's not be fair. It really looked really canny. I love the look of Craven. Craven looks so badass.
When they played that trailer in the jungle and they did the thing, and then Craven was like, and then Craven's friend was like, oh, we need to go to a different hunting ground, and then they panned up, and I was like, if you end this fucking showcase here, I swear to God,
1 out of 5,
fucking bullshit, but they didn't, which was good. I also remember this part of the show for you just going, wait, this is it. On stream, this is it. I was like, yeah, man, we're finished. It's been an hour. When this was that one more thing, and then we got to see the gameplay in New York City. You know, we got to see Peter, who seems to be having a rough time of it now. He's got a new look going on.
Bit of an attitude problem. Those teenage hormones.
I know, right? And then we also got to see some Miles gameplay as well, and he's got the wingsuit. He's got a wingsuit. Fly around.
Yeah. Well, both of them, I think, had it, because I think you saw Peters do that as well.
But his is all tentacles and shit.
Yeah. But I'd be very surprised if it is when he gets normal suit. Will be doing that as
well.
well.
Yeah,
probably.
because they don't want to program someone, because then the level design would be crazy for that, right? Because you'd have to adjust for someone having a wingsuit and someone not having a wingsuit.
Yeah.
Because you can switch between them. Was the other thing that happened in this gameplay.
Yeah, I'm happy about that. I wouldn't have gone crazy. I would have been like disappointed if they had play co-op and everything. I was like, no,
They came out. They came out
that.
and said
They came out.
It's single player. It's not.
Which is fantastic. I heard that, like I said, a couple of days ago as well, and I was just like, oh, thank fucking God, because I would have just like, nope.
I think
I would have still got the game and still played it single player, but I was just like, just no.
Yeah, you would have been like sat there with your headphones on playing Spider-Man, but your phone would just keep lighting up, and I'd just be going, Moody, do you want to play Spider-Man, Moody? And you would just be like,
just throw my phone out the window.
Yeah, and then just turn it over.
Basically, yeah. I don't know you.
But yeah, no, like it looks like Spider-Man, which is good because
yeah.
That was a good game.
It was a good game. It really was. Like Miles was a good game. Spider-Man 1 was a great game. It's like, yeah. And I'm looking forward to see what they're going to do with the story and everything. And it's just, yeah. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, as always. Which Insomniac have been knocking it out the park of late. So they're doing really cunning.
I hope they juggle the different bosses, like, because there's obviously going to be a lot of different like enemies, like boss enemies and villains. That's what I'm looking for in the game, because like you saw a bunch of them on the screen, and like in the gameplay trailer, it's Peter and Miles chasing Lizard, while Craven is also chasing Lizard, and there's a mention of Harry, and it's like, so like you've already got like setups for a few different like major villain characters, and it's just like, I really hope you do it. Like, I love the first Spider-Man, but they didn't handle the multiple boss thing quite as well as I would have liked. Villain, I don't know why I keep saying boss. Multiple villains thing quite as well as I would have liked. So hopefully, like, they balance it a little bit better. But other than that, man, Spider-Man 1 was great. Miles was great, like you said. Can't wait to play Spider-Man 2. Not release date, fall 2023. That's a bit of a surprise.
I was a little surprised, but they did this.
They did this last year. They did this last year.
God of War. Yeah. They did it the year before that with Ghost of Tsushima. Not Ghost of last year.
Yeah, it was the year before. Yeah, before.
But they did it with Ghost of Tsushima. They did it with The Last of Us Part 1. They just seem like they're just, we'll tell you when it's ready, type of thing. And
we don't have to tell you
showcase.
Yeah,
what better time is there?
Yeah, like now, like E3, because this is their equivalent of their E3 show.
Basically,
that's why they called it a showcase.
Yeah.
And someone was saying, like, we got 2 showcases in 2020. Maybe we'll get 2 this year. We'll see all of the first parties. And I was like, this is it, man. No, like, I hate to break it to you, but this is it. Like, for the next 12 to 18 months of, like, releases. So.
The only thing I think there's a chance we'll see anything is probably at the Game Awards, but I don't think they'll even show much there.
Nah, like, what are they going to show there? You know, they might show more of one of these games, like Concord or Marathon. You know what I mean? But they're not gonna drop a Last of Us Part 3 or a Ghost of Tsushima at fucking the Game Awards. Like, nobody likes Jeff Keighley that much. To give them like the biggest, give him the biggest reveal of the fucking he
got the Xbox Series look reveal.
Ooh, an obelisk. And yeah, no, he revealed the first ever PS5 game. Everybody's forgot that was. Everybody forgot that was Godfall. But whatever. There's a story I want to tack on at the end of this, but it's a bit late. But basically, PlayStation have also said they want to make games for every major genre, and they want to try and release 2 major games a year. So they're looking to expand their genres, basically, because they kind of make games for one genre, or they have done for the last few years. Like, in terms of their biggest releases, will kind of fit into the same.
So what, 2 games a year from their first party?
Yeah.
All right,
major games. So
they've kind of already dropped one already in the DLC for Horizon.
Potentially, I don't know if they count that. Yeah, whatever.
They might.
2 major titles every year. With a balance of like single player and live service games, with a balance of franchises and new IPs, and with a balance of different genres like that's listed here: action, sports, platformers, RPGs, races, shooters.
Yeah, no. Well, like I said on for when we were like talking about the beginning of the showcase, was like they had a diverse catalog here of different genres out there. Yes, there was a couple, obviously a lot of RPGs, a few shooters and everything, but they mixed it up with other things. So you can see that's what they're going for and everything.
Yeah.
It's basically just what Xbox was saying and everything like that. So it's like really, really
That's what we were saying Xbox needed, right? Like years ago.
Xbox need proper first party exclusives that blow us out of the water, like what PlayStations have and like what Nintendo's have. That's what I think what's missing for Microsoft. Microsoft are already hitting it out of the park with the diversity of multiple different type of genres. They just aren't, in my opinion, knocking it out the park with the first party games, because look, at the end of the day, it's kind of facts, because Halo 2 years ago you had Shang-Chi come on freaking the Game Awards in, Halo's out, right guys, and everything like that. Everyone's like, yeah, type of thing. A year later the fucking franchise is dead.
It's not dead. It's just sleeping.
It's comatose right now. It's like
maybe we'll have an opportunity to talk about Xbox in a little bit, but for right now, shall we move away from PlayStation Showcase stuff?
Yeah, it's time for the halftime show.
It's time for this is a full show now.
It's the halftime.
It's halftime.
Yeah. Indie game of the week, Amy.
Yeah, this week's indie game of the week is another non-demo played because I was busy working on other stuff. So I just threw one in. It's Videoverse, which is a visual novel adventure game set in the early 2000s. And it follows this kid who's playing essentially an analog of Final Fantasy. It's called Feudal Fantasy, I think, in-game. And it's about them sort of playing the game and trying to beat the game, and also like their life in general, and like it's a lot of like retro aesthetic stuff and going on message boards and communicating with other fans to try and like figure it, because there were you couldn't just look shit up on YouTube in the early 2000s, and like going on like MSN Messenger type apps and stuff. It's one of those kind of games, and it sounds interesting. It's got a very distinctive look to it, like the color palette and the retro aesthetic are pretty cool. And I like games that throw back to that era. That was when I really started getting into gaming, so I like the throwback to that era of gaming. I remember in the early 2000s, there was a big contingent of PlayStation 2 fanboys that we hung out with, and then there was me and my one other friend, and this was before the consoles had come out, so the arguments were about which one had the best launch lineup and which one was going to be the best, and there was like 10 of them who were like PS2 fanboys, and there's me and my friend, and we were like, GameCube. GameCube.
Sorry, PS2 fans, PS2 did not have a great lineup.
GameCube had an amazing lineup. I fucking stand by that to this day. I remember watching a shitty little fucking video of Reggie on my computer talking about Resident Evil and Smash Brothers. Then the original Resident Evil was Jesus Christ, I can't explain how, like the remake for GameCube, I can't explain how excited I was for that game. Like I'd stare at screenshots of it in a magazine. And
that's fair.
And that's what this game, that's that era of time that this game takes me back to,
Sweetness.
And I'm looking forward to it. It's been developed and published by Kinmoki, and it's coming Q3 2023 to PC. Go to Steam, check it out, watch a trailer. There's a demo there. I didn't play it, but you can play it. And wishlist the game, because it really, really helps the developers out quite a lot, as the developer stood next to me will attest.
Yes, it does.
Yes, no, I'm pretty sure nobody wants to sit down. So
I feel like you've been dragging it out just to piss me off.
No, I only noticed when we got to Indie Game of the Week, and I wasn't sure if you were going to want to start there or go through it, and then you started saying it, so I was like, okay, we'll go through it. I'll talk fast. But
we'll be back shortly.
The moth. Do you want to do Moody's Time to Shine while I look around for this moth?
It's time for Moody's Time to Shine, ladies and gentlemen. You know what that means? It's where I take control of this garbage truck on fire.
Whoa! That's somebody else's thing. We can't do the garbage truck on fire. That's somebody else's thing.
Is it?
Yeah. It's kind of funny.
Oh shit! Yeah, it is. That's kind of funny thing, isn't it? Fucking hell.
I mean, I appreciate
watched them in ages. I watched them last night, but I completely forgot that's their thing in it.
I appreciate the energy, and it's not. I'm not saying it's inaccurate.
That's true.
It's
that's
not.
True. That's true.
Yeah, it's not.
Fuck! I did not. Even, my brain did not click until you said it.
Yeah, I heard it. You say it, and then I heard an echo of it in Greg Miller's voice. I've heard.
Let's continue this garbage truck on fire. We're speaking about Fanboys, Amy.
I was going to say, you've got a lot of fun places to take us this week.
I've got some jank to talk about,
We've got some jank to talk about. Moody, this isn't a news story so much as a thing that happened on Twitter, and it's the thing we were talking about in the intro where I sent Moody a tweet, a series of tweets that I made where I said, I've lost my temper. Laughing emoji. So there's this website/podcast called Xbox Era, which I'd never heard of until a couple of days ago, when someone I know quote tweeted a clip from their podcast where their co-founder, quote, according to the tweet that was retweeted, said, quote, he's convinced that no other gaming outlets wanted to give Starfield high scores. He argues other sites have already decided to give Starfield 7.0 to 8.5 reviews in order to generate traffic and drag the Xbox brand down, end quote. There's a lot to unpack just in that statement. And I got mad. This fucking nonsense. Because what happened was someone from the podcast started replying to people who were basically the tweet that I saw was Kirk McKeon quote tweeting it and saying this is embarrassing, which I 100% completely agree with. This was fucking embarrassing. It's an embarrassing thing to say. And it was like, oh, way to take a clip out of context. And I was like, what context? This is where I got mad. I was like, what context? You said the thing that's in the thing, and it's embarrassing. I don't understand what other context there could be. One, I don't know if you've ever met game reviewers, but they can barely agree on anything.
Yeah, this is a stupid take. It's just it's moronic, and it's just. I can appreciate that maybe some game reviews put up maybe scores that are a little too high sometimes, where you just think, really, that's a 9, that's a 10, really type of thing. Especially when the game gets completely crapped on overall by the audience and everything like that. I can see where people come from that certain point of view, aka the last Battlefield. Battlefield had some decent reviews from the big sites. And everyone's just like, how the hell have you give this just an 8 and everything like that, or even higher? It's complete garbage. It's a broken mess type of thing.
Yeah, I remember.
And I understand when you see those type of things and everything like that. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say about a site saying that they want to give this a game a 7 out of 10 just because it's an Xbox game. It's an Xbox exclusive.
Can we talk about it's an Xbox Game Studios game, and we got to bring that Xbox brand down? Can we talk about the glowing reviews that Xbox games have across the board since before Redfall? This was my point, where it was we just had Hi-Fi Rush, which had an 89 or something on OpenCritic. The game before that was Pentiment, which was a high review. We've had even Halo Infinite has a really high review, on OpenCritic, because people were judging it as the game that launched and it was a great game. And we've had Flight Sim, and we've had fucking Grounded. Forza Horizon 5 has a 90 fucking 2, and it's just lads, one game got bad reviews. Get a grip.
Yeah.
This isn't a conspiracy. It's just a game that came out, and it was a bit shit. In the opinion of the majority of game reviewers, it was a bit shit. There's no conspiracy here.
Have they can the reviews say some silly taglines or like too much water type of thing? It's like
I'm sick of hearing that fucking phrase.
It's funny though. At the same time,
it is funny.
It really is. But it's my point though. That's what I'm trying to. The point I'm trying to say is like, it's like they can say some silly lines like that and everything, but at the same time, it's like if they don't like the game, they don't like the game.
Reviews are just the experience of the reviewer playing the game distilled down into however many like the word count is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like trust me, I did these reviews for years.
Yeah. Now if they changed it and what they said was like the sites are going to want to give this a 8 or 9 out of 10s just to stay face with the company and everything like that. I do believe that some sites do favor giving a little bit higher score.
Like Xbox Era, who gave Redfall an 8.5.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, and again, that's the reviewer's subjective opinion. Like, yeah. I don't buy into the whole. Sometimes I think maybe reviewers go a bit higher on the score. Because the thing about reviewers is, and I know I wasn't ever like at a big site, but I was a reviewer for myself, for other sites, and like we know a lot of these people that make these games. Like, you know, it's super awkward to shit all over a game when you know a bunch of people who made it. So sometimes, maybe we do cushion the blow a little bit. But again, like we also don't. Case in point, Redfall. Like
case in
point, fucking Gollum. Like, which we'll talk about later on. But like, there's no conspiracy in either direction, right? Yeah. Reviews are reviews. The scores are the least important part of a review. The words are the most important part. Like that tells you. That's the context. That tells you like, oh, why is this game? Why is this game a 9 or a 6 or a 1? You know what I mean? Can we also just unpack 8.5 being a bad score that's going to damage the Xbox brand? Like
you already know it, Amy. If it ain't a 10, everything else is meaningless.
But the people who said this gave Redfall an 8.5. By their own logic, they're trying to damage the Xbox brand. Like a 7 to an 8.5. That's good. That's a good to great game.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's ultimately is a subjective thing at the end of the day. And if you like something, you like something. If you don't like it, you don't like something. At the end of the day, for me, it's just like this person is just like you're automatically going in thinking this game is going to be a 10 out of 10, which is fantastic for you, and I hope it is for you. I really do. But at the end of the day, it's like, say, if me and Amy play it or anything like that, and we're not even a reputable fucking site. I'm just a fucking QA as the developer, and Amy is the amazing Amy. Well, I'll give you a positive.
No, I wasn't expecting it.
Oh,
you call yourself a dumbass QA tester. I was waiting for a dig, like a light-hearted, well-intentioned dig for comedy. But you said something nice, and I didn't know how to. My brain didn't process
how to react to that.
Yeah.
So I was expecting one thing, and I got a different thing.
Yeah, I got the opposite. Thank you.
I expected a slap in the face, but I got a chocolate bar.
I've got a chocolate bar. My parents came back from Greece, and it's like tradition. When I was a kid, I used to call them treblerines, and my parents thought that was really funny. So now, whenever they go on holiday, I get told them.
Fantastic, phenomenal. But yeah, it's like. I hope it is a 10 out of 10 for everybody out there. I really, really do. Like, heck, I would love to play this game and literally be saying to Amy, this is fantastic. Give it a go.
I'd love to.
I know,
that'd be great.
Yeah, you know, type of thing. Yeah.
Especially as someone who doesn't like Skyrim or Bethesda developed Fallout games. Like, you know, it would be cool to be like, because I watched the Starfield reveal, and there was bits and pieces of that reveal where I was like, actually, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
But like, am I going to try it? Not unless someone tells me specifically, Amy, you would like this game. Because I'm like, I've been burnt before.
The thing about it when it comes to Fallout, when it comes to the main Bethesda developer, is that they make games that are basically the same games. And that's the biggest worry, because at the end of the day, we've now had different games that have personally have expanded on that type of genre and have made it better. And they need to. They seem like they're sticking in a bubble that is a game mechanic type thing that they like to do that maybe isn't really what the majority of people are really, really wanting. And that's the more like when people say it's in the old Bethesda engine, everyone's just like, "Oh fuck's sake, seriously!" Like that. It's the same Bethesda type game or Tom Howard type game, you know. And you just go, "For fuck's sake," type of thing. And if that's something that you just like, the same like it's the same thing like what people like who love Ubisoft games and everything like that. They just aren't hitting for me and Amy right now, and we want this to hit. We want this to hit so bad. We don't want to be talking bad about games. We never like talking bad about games whatsoever. And like I hated talking about the Star Wars game a couple of weeks ago. I've stated already. And like
I was okay, but then I wasn't as negative on it as you were. So I felt pretty comfy, where I was just like, there's some problems, but it was okay. And you were just like, and like I respect it, like, because you don't want to talk negative about a game, but we do a podcast where we tell the honest truth about the things that we think. Maybe we're too honest.
Reviews written up, Amy. I haven't told you this. I've written 2 reviews. One for Like a Dragon and one for Lana, Planet of Lana.
All right. Well,
I've got 2 reviews. They're for next week.
Keep the Lana one in your back pocket, because I'm gonna play that this weekend. I was going to play it today, but then I made a video instead.
I started playing it when it came out.
I saw.
Yeah.
When I went to install it,
I'm almost done. But I know my thoughts, so I'm like, I got them written down.
When I went to install it on my phone, your little icon popped up underneath, saying you had played it. So I was like, cool, Moody's playing it. But yeah, no, like this fucking fanboyism shit, conspiracy theory bollocks. It just really fucking wound me up. Like, I'm sick of hearing
idiots being idiots as always, and it's just like,
it's like, come on, man.
These are grown ass people.
This is what I mean.
Ass adults. I can understand if this came from an idiotic teenager who hasn't bloody touched himself yet. It's like crazy, man. It's like really getting annoying. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but no, it's like the story I told before about, you know, me arguing GameCube with people against PlayStation 2. But I was a fucking teenager, right? Like, I grew out of that shit when I realized I could just have both. Like, if I really wanted to, and I did. I bought weirdly, despite that argument, the first console I owned of that generation was an Xbox. I didn't get a GameCube for a year. But when my student loan came through, but no, it was like it just annoys me. So I wanted to talk about it on this podcast to get it out of my chest. You know, to get it out of my chest, to get it off my chest. Like games critics aren't all meeting in a secret meeting to be like, okay, what do we think of Starfield? The months before the games came out, when nobody's played it, like. Guess what? If it gets a 7.0 to an 8.5 average on OpenCritic, then that's just what people think. And that's like, where the game's at. You know what I mean? If it gets 10s, that's where the game's at.
It's like all the right review writers joining together and say, how can we piss Ryan McCaffrey off anymore?
I mean, I fully support that endeavor. If that's a thing, real thing, I want in.
Oh, God. I just hit myself with my mic.
Spirit of Ryan McCaffrey's coming for you.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Let's go.
I just realized something.
Amy, there's two Embracer stories. Let's go for them.
There's also a story that's not in the table of contents for some reason, but it's at the bottom.
Can be left till next week then.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so 2 Embracer stories. Do you want the bad news for us or the bad news for Embracer first?
Bad news for us.
The bad news for us first. Embracer CEO has no further comments on KOTOR remake. This is from George Foster over at The Gamer, who writes, Embracer Group's CEO Lars Vinkerfors reportedly dodged a question about the status of the Knights of the Old Republic remake during an investor's call today. Things really aren't looking good for the Knights of the Old Republic remake. Last year, development of the project was swapped from Asper to Saber Interactive, a change that led to some to report that a 2024 release was, quote, wishful thinking, end quote. In fact, things have been so messy since the game was announced at the last PlayStation showcase that one insider last week even claimed they didn't think that the KOTOR remake was ever going to come out. If you thought that was a bad sign, we might have an even worse one for you. According to Axios' Stephen Totillo, Embracer CEO Lars Vingerfors managed to dodge a question about the Knights of the Old Republic during an investors call. During the call, one investor asked if Vingerfors could, quote, please clarify the current status of the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake in regard to its development status and what shape it is in, end quote. In response to the question, Vingerfors apparently said, quote, favourite question, end quote, before waiting for the investor to stop chuckling in response. After he'd finished laughing, Vingerfors said, quote, I have no further comments, end quote. Just going to stop there.
The game's in big doo-doo right now.
The game is in Dead Island land, Dead Island 2. I'm not calling it development hell anymore. I'm going to call it the Dead Island 2 zone.
It's baffling to me that Embracer own this. Like, it's Star Wars, you would say Disney owned this, but somehow I think Embracer own it.
I don't know.
Which is a really weird thing. Unless they agreed with Disney to like do the remake. And
maybe it was like I don't know.
But it's like
the original developer Asper. Their thing was making enhanced editions of old BioWare games. I think they made. I think, and I might be wrong. I'm trying to look it up right now, but obviously the internet is pretty slow. That's not helpful. What have Asper Media made? Steam publisher, Asper Media. Let's go. That's what the fuck. Okay, I might be thinking of a different developer. I'm thinking of a different developer. They're an assistant studio usually, by the looks of their Steam publisher page. But yeah, like I asked Ryan about this when I went to play KOTOR, the original. Like when I tried to stream it, but it didn't react very well with OBS, so I stopped. And I said, "Should I just wait for the remake?" And he laughed and said, "No." You'll be waiting a long time. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I just remember it from the PlayStation showcase, right? I think you're muted.
If with him not saying anything, he's like clearly does not want to talk about it whatsoever right now. And then it's like,
it's going to be a while.
We're in a bad position with this game right now. And it's just like, we've signed contracts. We can't get out of them, or it's going to cost us even more money to get out of them. And Disney then will slap us.
Yeah, something went wrong, but unfortunately, this isn't something went wrong with something they can just cancel. This is something's gone wrong with this multi-billion-dollar IP owned by a massive corporation. Oh dear, we have to deliver on the contract because we can't afford. We can't afford to get out of it. Moody, would you like to hear about why they probably can't afford to get out of a contract with Disney over Star Wars?
Go for it, Amy. I would love to know why.
$2 billion partnership deal falls through for Embracer Group. This is from Stephen Totillo over at Axios. He writes, the sprawling Swedish video game company, the Embracer Group, is reeling following its announcement that a, quote, transformative, end quote, partnership that's been negotiated for months fell apart on Tuesday night. Embracer said the collapse of the mega deal, the partner of which still has not yet been revealed, was unexpected. Embracer said it had a verbal commitment in October and described negotiations as, quote, taking far longer than expected, end quote. Shares of Embracer Group were down more than 40% this morning, which was Wednesday. Lars Vingerfors, CEO, said, quote, all documentation was finalized and ready to go as of yesterday. We asked for the execution of the agreement before our Q4 announcement. However, late last night, we received a negative outcome from the counterparty, end quote. Compounding the bad news, the company lowered its earnings forecast for next year, citing game delays from a range of $965 million to $1.3 billion, down to $655 million to $840 million. The company also accepted a $1 billion investment from the Saudi government-funded Savvy Games Group last year.
They think that they go from like a certain range of what their estimates are to another certain range of estimate, and that other range is still millions and millions of dollars.
Oh,
hundreds of millions, for God's sakes.
We're only going to earn $650 million. Oh,
the ultimate thing, the big question here is, and it's the only question I have for this thing, is like, who was it? That's all I'm intrigued by.
What the hell was this? Because they weren't buying anyone.
Who were they partnering up with? Who was it? Give me this now.
There's not that many. There can't be that many contenders. If you're talking like $2 billion, it's like, who are you partnering with? That was for like to the tune of $2 billion. And why'd they pull out? I'm curious. I'm so fascinated.
I'm fascinated by this. I highly doubt it'll be EA, and I highly doubt it'll be Ubisoft. Yeah. But I think it's
they own shitloads of IP as well. So
yeah.
You know, there's plenty that like, but nothing that's worth $2 billion. I would say.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of, the only thing, like, we're all like assuming that it's a game developer or a publisher or something like that. That's different.
Yeah.
But it might be something completely different for all we know, which
Amazon,
more likely it is.
Amazon's buying the streaming rights for Deus Ex or something. That's the thing, though. Like, their biggest IPs apart from maybe it's Tomb Raider, their biggest IPs that they own aren't really like $2 billion IPs, right? So maybe it's something that they were gonna do for someone else. You know, like maybe they were gonna make something. I don't know. It's fascinating to speculate about, but
yeah, it is fascinating.
They're still gonna make shitloads of money. They'll be fine. The share price only fell so bad because the shareholders basically took what he said about, it was a deal that fell through last night as an excuse for why they weren't going to make as much money. So they all just went, fuck this. Because you know how those shareholders, they don't like excuses. But it's whatever. Like, you know, it's a lot of money, but at the same time, the company's going to make a lot of money. Like, they own, like, all the studios, so...
They really do, don't they? Dead Island 2 exceeds eternal expectations after 2 million sales, Amy.
This is from Chris Kerr over at GameDeveloper.com. He writes, Dead Island 2 has sold over 2 million copies worldwide since launching on April 21st, 2023. The long gestating sequel had already topped 1 million sales in 3 days, 10% of Tears of the Kingdom, but has now sold more than double that total. Embracer Group, the parent company of publisher Deep Silver, announced the milestone in its latest financial report.
Stories of Embracer Group, kidding me?
And said they're hard to avoid at this point,
they
man.
They really are, aren't they?
And said the title has surpassed internal expectations. It also added, quote, when measured over the initial 7-day sales period, Dead Island 2 has become the largest launch in both units sold and revenue generated in the history of Deep Silver and Plaion, end quote. Good.
Fantastic, especially a game that has had a horrible development cycle. Like, I remember, like, we spoke on multiple occasions, but I'll repeat it. Like, we both remember when this was revealed, the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, PlayStation E3. Reveal. I played a demo of it. Like, it was a whole thing.
Yeah. And you've played it, and you enjoyed it by the end. You were like, this is
not bad. Yeah, I played this game as well. Like, I'm still trying to come to terms with the fact that, like, if we ended the year right now, Dead Island 2 would be one of my top 5 games of the year. Like, I'm still trying to come to terms with that fact.
Jesus, baby.
We're like, okay. Like, I've had a couple of disappointments recently. But no, it was a fun game. Like I said in my review of it, like, it knows what it knew what it wanted to be, which is fucking miraculous for a game that changed development hands twice, I think, and also like took 10 years to make. Like, those games are usually really unfocused and like really bloated with all sorts of ideas left behind by all sorts of different development teams. This game was super focused, knew what it wanted to do, and just like it was in and it was out, and you had a fun time while you just mashed some zombies in. And I'm really happy that it's done well. I'd love to see the guys, Dambuster, I think it was, who made this game. I'd love to see them have another crack, make a Dead Island 3. Maybe set on an island this time, though. It's like my main gripe from Dead Island 2. It's like, wasn't set on an island. But
potato.
But no, it was a fun game. Like, and sometimes that's all you need out of a game. It doesn't need to be life-changing, mind-blowing experience. It's just, here's a hammer, smash a zombie head in. And that's enough to get you 2 million sales.
Indeed.
I just saw the 2 stories that I left.
Go on, start with the Biden one.
No, I want you to read the headline.
No.
Why not?
No.
I seduced Joe Biden easily in Steam's newest dating sim. Then he said I was too old for him. This is from Rich Stanton over at PC Gamer. He writes, don't ask why, but on my usual check-in and the latest titles releasing on Steam, one new game positively popped off the page. Welcome to Love Joe Biden, the Joe Biden dating simulator. Steam is positively awash with low-budget dating sims these days, but sticking the octogenarian president in one did pique my interest more than usual, so I had to play it. Love Joe Biden, like almost all of them, is a multiple-choice visual novel, smooshing together several genre tropes and then just whacks the 46th president right in the middle. It's set in an old age home that has 2 actual residents, one of whom is Biden, and 2 other members of staff, one of whom is a giant furry wolf, and the other an anime woman with her bra showing. The wolf's a bit of a prick, the anime girl is boring, the old woman tells anecdotes that veer into wildly inappropriate areas, and then there's Joe. The game seems to come from someone who likes Biden, but is all too aware of the man's occasional foibles, so sometimes Joe falls asleep when you're talking to him, for example, or he'll repeat himself and stumble over words. In all seriousness, this is a laugh, but it's a one-note joke. I'm not advocating you buy it in the slightest, though given it's only a few dollars, it could make a fun gift for any Biden-loving friends. As for what the man himself would make of it, I think we all know which word he'd deploy for what us youngins get up to on Steam: malarkey. If requested, will stream this game. if one person asks me to stream this game, I'll fucking do it. I'm crazy like that. I mean, I don't particularly like Joe Biden. I don't really think about Joe Biden a lot, but like, fucking, this sounds ridiculous, but it sounds like my kind of ridiculous. And also, it was a slow news week, and this headline of this made me laugh. So, in it went. No thoughts on Love Joe Biden, the Joe Biden dating simulator?
Nope.
No, not one. Nothing. Fair.
Nope.
The game that stars the 46th president of the United States, a furry wolf, and an anime girl.
Nope.
Do you think they're going to be in his cabinet next time when he gets reelected? You just want me to move on, right? And I'm holding us in place. So, Moody, what's your problem with dating sims? About geriatric presidents? You can move us on at any time. This is Moody's time to shine.
Time to move on to the next and final story, everybody. Cancel culture, free speech is gone, Amy.
Cancel culture wasn't a myth. It's real.
It's real. Cancel culture is not a myth. Free speech is gone.
Japanese authorities make their first arrest over video game spoilers. This is from Jeffrey Rosolver at GamesIndustry.biz, who writes, a 52-year-old from Nagoya, Japan, is now the first in the country to be arrested for illegally uploading game videos on YouTube. As reported by Japan Today, the videos of Steins Gate, My Darling's Embrace, were also monetized and included the game's ending. The 2011 visual novel, which was re-released in 2019, current right holder is media firm Kadokawa. Why does that sound familiar? The YouTuber also uploaded videos from the anime adaptation of the game and Spy X Family, another animated show.
Good show.
Never seen it, surprisingly. Japan Today added that gameplay videos from Japanese YouTubers which don't collect ad revenue are common on the platform. KOTOR, Japan's Content Overseas Distribution Promotion Organization, that doesn't spell KOTOR at all, said that in principle, use of any gameplay videos requires permission from the rights holder.
It does if you forget about the P.
Code po. Please don't arrest me for that, Japan.
free speech. This is where liberty dies, Amy.
Yeah,
with
I know,
thunderous applause.
This is where liberty dies. With a man uploading monetized anime on a YouTube channel and getting arrested.
Yeah, it's I don't really have much to say to this. I'm not gonna lie.
It was a funny headline.
It was a funny headline.
Some weeks you just gotta take whatever you can get. You know, there's a PlayStation showcase, and that's basically it.
They've just done the full circus and then left early.
And you've got to grab the straws and just try.
You didn't grab the straws. You just grabbed the spider webs that were left over.
I grabbed something.
You grabbed something. That's for sure. That's for sure.
But yeah. Like, sometimes you just got to make the people laugh.
I hope this person doesn't go to jail.
Me too. It would be a hell of a thing to go to jail for. You know, what are you in for? Oh, you know, I robbed a bank. And then someone else is like, what are you in for? And it's like, oh, I stabbed a guy. And then they ask the third person, what are you in for? And it's like, I uploaded Steins Gate to YouTube. With adverts. Like, what the fuck?
So clearly I've had the harder life.
Yeah.
You guys got off easy.
I know I stabbed a guy, but damn, man. You broke copyright law. That's fucked up. Fuck.
What's happening next week, Amy?
What's happening next week? There's a few things happening next week. There's a thing I was going to put on here, but I didn't, so I'm going to say it out loud now. I have a video essay coming out next week.
Ooh.
I haven't decided on the title yet, but it's about a game mechanic from The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. And it's looking like it's going to be about 10 or 15 minutes long, so keep an eye out for that next week. There's also another gaming showcase next week, Moody. The MetaQuest Gaming Showcase at 5:45 p.m., which is very specific, UK time, on June 1st, which will feature new game announcements and updates on titles coming in the next year to the Quest platform. Oh, excuse me.
I'm not watching that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not watching it. You have one. I don't know whether you can watch it or not since you own the platform.
I've just got in from work and I'll be like having my dinner.
What a weird time! Like, it's not the 5 p.m. bit that I'm hung up on. It's the 45. Like, it starts quarter to six. Like,
yeah.
Why? Why not just 6 or 5:30?
It's a weird one. There's no doubt about it. It's a quirky one.
There's a few games coming out that I want to shout out. System Shock is launching on PC on May 30th. It's a remake of the original System Shock. It's coming to consoles as well at some point in the future. Chicory: A Colorful Tale is launching on Xbox on May 30th and straight into Game Pass. I really loved this game when it came out.
Chicory was good. I had a lot of fun with it. I think you loved it more than I did, but
yeah, was that a top 5? Was it a top 5 for me, or did it just miss? Because I had a lot of cool indie games.
I think Chicory was like top 20 for me.
Yeah, it was definitely up there somewhere though. I've still got screenshots of the game saved on my PC, where I just stopped in a map and just filled the whole thing in, like colored everything in, and then I took screenshots of it.
Nice.
Yeah, I need to make a video about it. Anyway, and this one's on the list because it's a big release. It's not necessarily something that I'm going to play. It's Street Fighter 6, which is coming on June 2nd. PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, S, and PC. Huh?
You will play.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to.
Not the week when it comes out.
I'm not going out of my way to play it. I'll still be playing Zelda.
I've got Zelda on the way. I forgot to tell you this.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. I hope you have fun with it. You got to stay with it for a bit. It's slow going in the opening.
Yeah. I've heard you.
I'll give you some hints, some tips about how to get into it. And
Don't you just have to jump off the floating planet and then just land on the new planet?
More or less. It's Mario Galaxy 2 again.
Exactly.
I never played that game, but I know about the planets.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's what's happening next week, mates. Not a lot. Keep an eye out for what's happening next week. When everything is happening. But instead, should we do some
It's OpenCritic Head-To-Head.
Let me just check something really, really quickly. Because, you know, it'll make a difference. I still laugh when I see that. Okay, no, it just hasn't got a review score yet. So, OpenCritic Head-To-Head. This is the game we play every week where we try to guess the OpenCritic average of upcoming games. Whoever guesses closest to the score gets a point. If you manage to guess the score completely correctly, you get 2 points. Last week we tried to guess the OpenCritic averages of 3 games. We've got scores for 2 of them. One of them doesn't have a score yet, but it's got reviews, so we're just waiting for the score to drop. But I'm 99% certain, unless it gets a load of terrible reviews, Moody's got the point for it. But the ones that's Convergence, a League of Legends story. I guessed it would get a 71. Moody guessed it would get a 73. Doesn't have an OpenCritic score right now, but looking at the reviews that are currently on the site, the average would be about 86, 87, something like that. So we'll see how many when it gets a score. The other games that we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of: Star Trek Resurgence, the new Star Trek game that I'm looking forward to playing just as soon as I can afford to buy it. I guessed it would get a 66. Moody guessed it would get a 70. And at the time of recording, Star Trek Resurgence has an OpenCritic average of 71. Had 70 till I pressed record on this podcast and looked it up, which means Moody gets a point. You still get a point. And we get a slightly better review score for the game.
Nice. Didn't know how I feel about this.
Yeah, it's like,
it's pleasure, but I'm a bit bitter.
We also tried to guess the OpenCritic average of the Lord of the Rings Gollum, and my God, we missed by a lot. I guessed it would get a 69. Moody guessed it would get a 60. When I woke up this morning, Lord of the Rings Gollum had an OpenCritic average of 38. It now has an OpenCritic average of 43.
So it's just doing what the franchise did. Took its sweet ass time climbing up that fucking mountain.
Sam's got it on his back. They're getting there. They're getting there. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Like, everything I'd seen about this game, I think we talked about this just before we hit record. It's like, everything I'd seen about this game, like, I thought it wasn't going to be great. Like, from my perspective, I was like, why the fuck are you making a game about Gollum? Like, of all of the Lord of the Rings characters you could make a game about, you're making it about Gollum. But I didn't expect this. Like, good Lord. What the fuck happened? Forget all your other projects, Danny. Danny O'Dwyer of No Clip. Please, I need to know what happened here. Please, go. Tell me. Find the truth. It was I don't think I've ever seen an OpenCritic score go that low. Like, even the Fast and the Furious game was higher than this.
Sorry?
Even the Fast and the Furious game was higher than this. Like,
no fucking way. Really?
Yeah, it was like 40 something. I don't think, did we do an OpenCritic Fast and Furious? Yes, I think we did. Oh no, it went down because it was in the 40s. It's 38. So no, the Fast and Furious game is lower than the Lord of the Rings game.
Interesting.
Not by much.
Interesting.
I watched Skillup's review, and that's all I'm gonna do. Like, I do get intrigued by like games like this.
Yeah.
But the effort I'd have to go through to get it and play it is probably what's going to put me off doing that, especially when like I've got a backlog of cool indie games that I want to finally get to.
That's fair.
And it grows by the week. So the current scores are Amy 14, Moody 8, and we've had 1 draw. This week we're doing 2 OpenCritic guesses. The first one is for System Shock, which I mentioned before. It's a remake of a beloved classic from 69 years ago. At least that's what it feels like. I played the demo for this at the Gamescom Steam thing, Steam Next Fest last year. And I got shouted at because they were like, oh, you said this is the Gamescom demo, but it's not the Gamescom demo. And I was like, no, it's not the fucking demo from the Gamescom show floor. It's the one from Steam, man. Leave me alone. It was a thing that happened. And it was really fun. Like, I love Sims. I heard Dinga Bacaba call them immersive sims, Sims on Twitter, and now I just want to call them Sims all the time.
Fine. Respect.
But I love immersive sims. But the thing is that creates a blind spot, right? When I'm trying to guess what other people are going to think of it, because I'm like, I love Sims. Does everybody else love immersive sims? I don't know. I'm gonna guess based on the demo that I played. If that holds out to the rest of the game, I'm gonna go with an 84. Just don't do what I did and accidentally delete your melee weapon. I had a pipe and I accidentally junked it out of my inventory. So I had to run past everything because I didn't have a melee weapon.
79.
79. How great a word is imsim? It's a great word. Imsim.
I'm indifferent.
Imsim. I like words. Malarkey's a great word as well. Look, right, I did a fucking degree in writing, right? Like, I had to do a poetry module for 3 years. My poetry tutor would sometimes just stop the fucking lecture dead because he said a word out loud that he really liked to say. Like, I remember once we spent 5 minutes talking about the word sprang. And admittedly, great word. But, like, unfortunately, this tendency is also passed on to me now. Whereas, like, some words are just fun. Sprang. We're also going to guess the OpenCritic average of Street Fighter 6, which is the opposite problem of System Shock. I don't know. It's a fucking fighting game. I've got no idea. I don't play them. They're not for me. I like Smash Brothers, but not as much as everybody else likes Smash Brothers. Like, if you put Smash Brothers and Mario Kart in front of me, I'm picking Mario Kart every time. Street Fighter 6 is gonna get 88. Never fails. I'm not memeing. I'm actually, that's a legitimate guess. It's also a meme from the past. So
I know.
No, sometimes I do meme. I memed last week when we did Gollum. I picked 69 because it was funny, not because I had any idea what it was gonna get.
Respect. 87.
87.
You made my life easier.
I'll take your word for it. Are you just doing that thing you did?
90.
Well, I thought my first thought was 90. My first thought was to go at 90. But I feel like of the fighters, because we're getting 3 this year. Like, if they all come out, we're getting all of the major fighters. Street Fighter, Tekken, Mortal
Kombat, yeah.
And I always feel like Street Fighter is the one that people like more.
Mortal Kombat, I would say, is the one.
I'd say Mortal Kombat's the most popular one. In terms of, like, you know, people playing it and stuff. But I feel like of those 3 franchises, I always feel like Street Fighter is the one people like have a deeper love for.
I have no affinity for either of them. All I know is that, like, Mortal Kombat is always the biggest seller of all of them.
Yeah,
and
but
Tekken and Street Fighter fight over the rest.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not talking about sales. Like, Mortal Kombat's Mortal Kombat's the biggest one, easily.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. When it comes to, like, subjectivity, I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm just basing it off, like, the few people I know who like fighting games or like watch content of. But who knows? I don't know anything about fighting games. Now, you talk about Sims. I can tell you stuff about them, but fighting games is a no. But yeah, it should be interesting to see how these shake out. I don't think we're going to get another Amy wakes up to a 38 on OpenCritic moment again. Fucking hope not. If System Shock's that bad, I'll be devastated. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Words About Games podcast. Bit of a weird one. Like I said, we didn't really have any news to talk about. Embrace a group side again was basically the entire second part of the podcast. And then trolling Moody with weird stories. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do for the stream.
You gotta do what you gotta do. There's no doubt about that, Amy.
I'm just wondering if you're going to come back to say bye.
I am coming back. I'm just trying to find something. That's all. Don't worry.
What are you doing? Moody.
Oh
Moody.
You've been annoying now.
On purpose. Moody. Moody. What are you doing?
All right. Well, the moment's gone. Bye. Bye, everybody. Live long and prosper. Stay safe. Have a great weekend. Have a great long weekend. Be awesome.
Bye. Moody, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I was trying to find a movie quote, but I couldn't get to it.